how do you overcome the cynicism built up from decades of me first, or value extracting, kind of it's not personal, it's just business mentalities, and how do we change that because it's so entrenched?
Well, I think that, first of all, there is an epic character to the struggle. In other words, there will always be a part of life which wants to pull us towards me first, and a part of life that pulls us towards other first. And so we're no different from any other generations that have gone before us in saying, what choice do I make? Is it about my neighbor or is it about me? But we live at a time when there's been an awful lot about me going on, and the in a sense, the equilibrium has got out of whack. And so what we're seeing is a challenge to that equilibrium and a pulling it back. So at one level, the me first versus other first, in a sense, is a human struggle. It's the nature of the human existence. What's shifting now, I think, is that the consequences of a lot of me first by a lot of businesses over a long period of time is proving to produce some outcomes, social, environmental, economic, that many people are finding unacceptable. And so we're looking to business to, in a sense, fix some of the things that it's actually contributed to getting wrong in the first place. Right. And in some ways, this is pulling back the equilibrium that's become too excessively in one direction.
Right, yeah. So it's a bit like almost saying, well, how does anybody ever quit smoking? Well, they have to make choices. How do they change habits that are ingrained? They have to make choices. There has to be some sort of internal change that occurs in them to change an entrenched habit. Is that kind of where you're going?
And I think you're right to use the word habit, that we have patterns of behavior. In fact, we've constructed businesses to behave and perform in a certain kind of way, and those habits are being challenged. And I read some interesting work a while ago on how are new habits formed and how are, in a sense, addictive, you could say, even patterns of behavior, how are they broken? And we can understand the nature of habit creation, but in the end, it boils down to one pretty simple fundamental step, which is either don't do it or do it. And that's the big moment. It's the moment of choice, right? Yeah. And it's a choice that each of us, as consumers, who do I buy from? As an employee, who do I work for? As a manager in an organization, how do I make this difficult trade-off between something that will clearly deliver profitability today and something that might actually create even a long-term benefit or that may create a social benefit? And how do I make those trade-offs and those choices? What I think we're challenged with now is it's not simple. It's not an obvious answer as in just go make more money. It's more complicated than that. And we have to think and recognize that those choices are not as binary as we might like them to be.
Yeah, well, and sometimes something that helps too is even using language, which is something that we've tried to do in the book, different language that breaks us out of our kind of normal routines. And so in this, just to answer that question, it's almost, in the question it said, it's not personal, it's business, which is this phrase we hear all the time, right? But a twist on that is it's personal business. In other words, it's not one or the other, it's like this hard mix of both. And how do you figure that out?
Well, and I think you're right. I think we've set up, we've kind of given a license to a business to say, well, you can operate by a set of rules that are called business, and then we can do, frankly, unkind things to each other and say, well, it's just business. You understand, I'm operating by a different set of rules. And, well, it actually isn't okay. And I think part of what businesses are being challenged to say is, no, it's not okay to pretend you're something and then turn out to be something else. No, it's not okay to extract more wealth than you might reasonably need in order to retain the capital that you've got. Right. No, it's not okay to lie and cheat your way to better performance. It's actually not okay to do those things. We're setting standards for businesses that are being demanded. It's not okay to hide the truth from shareholders or from employees. No, it's not okay to do that.